On today's Into Your Head number 644 for Wednesday, bodily function snobbery, horizons versus coasts, a tale of two Hitlers in a bar, psychic leakage, trying to make dogs interesting, how to run things up flagpoles and why, and lots more. We've a lot to get on with today. Items that need to be attended to, issues that need to be addressed, topics. Oh, topics. We've got lots and lots of topics. We're positively booming to the seams with topics. We've got topics coming out of this mug. This mug here. This mug, which is more of a mug holder at the moment. It's an empty mug, but I'm using it to carry a tall and flimsy plastic water container, which I sit into it to prevent it toppling over and splashing over my keyboard. Because the last thing I want, I can tell you the last thing I want. In fact, I don't even want it at all. If I had a list of things that I want, this wouldn't even be on it. But if I was forced to put everything in the world on the list in order of how much I wanted them, that would certainly be the last on the list. Although there might be a few things after, I suppose, now that I think about it. Things like, for example, the end of the world, Hitler coming back and haunting us all and making us all convert to Judaism and then killing us for being Jews. What else? Plenty of things. So leave all that to your imagination. The imagination knows no bounds. Unfortunately, in the real world, we have bounds. We have bounds and limitations. The horizon, for example. I can look out that window and my sight is limited by the horizon. It's also limited by a bit of fog today and the fact that there's a big farm building over there blocking the view of whatever's behind it, which is just as well, because I can't imagine that there's anything good behind it other than the main road and the field beyond it, and the field where they used to have the ploughing championships, and after that it's pretty much all horizon the rest of the way. Nothing but horizon. I used to live in an area where the local radio station was called Horizon, and it failed, and they relaunched as East Coast Radio. They said, no, this Horizon thing is going nowhere. It's a nothing thing. Let's name it after something everyone can see, because you can see the coast. I used to live up on a mountain looking down on the beach, and I could see half a mile of coastline from my back window. I'd say there's half a line of coastline. Isn't it great? I can squeeze the people on the beach. I could squeeze them between my thumb and forefinger if I held it in the right position. They didn't come to any harm. This was all in my imagination, but they were real people, and it was my real finger and thumb. But fortunately, the two never came together in any real physical form. It was just an optical illusion. It's not even an illusion if I know that it's an illusion. How can it be an illusion unless I manage to trick someone else with it, which, as you think you can see is quite unlikely. Quite unlikely indeed. In fact, its likeliness is approximately zero or less. This maybe goes into minus figures. -1, for example, that's a figure. And you have -2 and -3 and -4. And then you add them all together, and apparently you get even further down. If you add -1 and -2 and -3, you supposedly get -6. That's what the mathematicians would have us believe. A load of crap, if you ask me. I don't even believe in infinity. God, they have this thing where, if you multiply everything by everything enough times, you get up to infinity and beyond. It's like something out of a fucking kid show. You can't be basing mathematical theories when you're a grown up on stuff that you've seen on some, I don't know, some whoever from infinity and beyond is from. It's a Toy Story. A man on Toy Story says to infinity and beyond. No, Professor Stephen Hawking is basing his theories on. There's a message from me. Appears to be from me anyway. But no, it's from my old Twitter account. If you're following me on Twitter at Into Your Head Pod, please re-follow me again at the same name, because I started a fresh account. So you have to re-follow me, even though it's the same name. We're out of touch now until you physically re-follow me at Into Your Head Pod. Anyway, where was
The Into Your Head podcast will be right back after this.
In their natural habitat, it would be unusual, especially at night, for cats to arrange their eyes in lines along the centre of a road.
We're back with the Into Your Head podcast.
Two Hitler's ghosts walk into a bar. One of the Hitler's ghosts, to avoid confusion, takes a seat in a quiet corner in the lounge, and the other Hitler's ghost goes up to the bar to place his order, and he says, "Hello, can I have 2 pints of your finest German beer, please?" And the man behind the counter says, "Wait a minute, why are you dressed as Hitler?" And Hitler's ghost says, "Unfortunately, the way it works is whatever you're wearing when you die, you're stuck with that. It's not real clothing. It's some sort of a halo. I don't know the physics of it. Some kind of beyond the grave physics that I've no control over. Believe you me, I'd much rather be going round in the skies here. I'd be happy to just put on a sheet over my head." But I tried that for a day, and it turns out that scares people even more than looking like Hitler, my former human self. Anyway, 2 pints of your finest Guinness, please. And the barman says, "Are you seriously telling me with a straight face, or whatever you're hiding behind your moustache, that you expect me to serve 2 pints of Guinness to Hitler? Hitler, you're Hitler, you're the Hitler, the one and only Hitler." Actually, he interrupts. He says, "Actually, there's 2 of us. If you look down in the quiet corner there, my friend, he's another of Hitler's ghosts. We were so busy, had to get help, had to have 2 ghosts working on it. It's like with the whole Santa Claus situation. Only one of us is real, the other one is Santa's little helpers. So Hitler's ghost has little helpers too. We're not up to no good, don't worry. We just have so much to do to make amends to the universe and get our reputation back that we had to get extra ghosts of ourselves. It's like if you could split yourself into 2 and have an extra body. It's quite handy, really. Although it does become a bit expensive in bars, I suppose. Anyway, pint of Guinness for us both, please." And the man behind the bar says, "No, ich bin not a Hitler follower. I'm not going to serve you." And the man, Hitler says, "If the leader of the opposition party in this country came in today and asked for a pint, would you serve him?" And he says, "Yes, indeed I would, because I'm a supporter of his party." And then Hitler says, "Fair enough, but if the leader of the opposition to the opposition came in here, would you serve him?" And the barman says, "Yes, I would." He says, "As long as he's behaving himself, where everyone's equal in here. We serve everyone, big or small, as long as they're over the age limit. It doesn't matter what their political persuasions are, but I do draw the line as 2 ghosts of Hitler." And Hitler says, "Well, now that's interesting. You choose to draw the line there. If I was alive now, would you serve me?" And the barman says, "Yes, I would, because if you were alive now today, that would imply that you'd been tried and cleared, and you hadn't done anything wrong. And if a man has been cleared and hasn't done anything wrong, then in my book, he should be treated the same way as everyone else. So if you were alive today, I'd be treating you completely differently. Anyway, you're not, so fuck off." Hitler says, "What does that mean, fuck off? I haven't heard that phrase before. Is that a German name? Is it like Burkoff or something? Is it that fella who makes the moving pictures, the scary moving pictures? Because apparently real life wasn't scary enough in the 30s. We had to start making moving pictures of horror stories." And the man behind the bar says, "You're being a bit of an arsehole now, Hitler's ghost. And this is only half of you. Apparently there's another half of you down there in the corner. I thank you both to leave. In fact, I wouldn't thank you. Just leave. Get out of my establishment. You are not in charge here. You lost the war. We fought the law and the law won. We fought the war and the Hitler lost. Do you want me to set it out in song for you? Here we go. We fought the war and the Hitler lost, we fought the law and Hitler lost. Although admittedly we were a neutral country, we weren't really on anyone's side. Although I don't think anyone thought we were on Hitler's side, which indeed we weren't. There was Irish people fighting abroad for other countries. I think you'll find they were all on the good side. Then we came back and we started the IRA. But that's a whole different kettle of fish, a whole different ball game. Suffice to say, where are we going with this? And Hitler says, well, where we're going? We're not going anywhere. Just trying to buy a couple of drinks for Christ's sake and sit down and plan our next move to do what we have to do to earn my reputation back or to make amends to the world. For Christ's sake, you don't want me to make amends to the world. I'm not here to have a drunken rampage. I'm here to have a quiet meeting in a pub with my other self. And the man behind the bar says, you can meet with your other self inside your brain. You don't need to be in a bar. Now get out of here. And Hitler says, fair enough. I know when I'm not wanted. I can tell. I have a sixth sense, and my sixth sense is telling me now that I'm not welcome here. And he goes off and brings his friend with him, and both Hitlers leave the bar, never to be seen in that establishment again. I know what you're thinking there. You're thinking his mouth is sounding a bit croaky today, a bit saliva filled and a bit croaky and a bit disgusting and a bit not at the top of its game, if you don't mind. Oh, I don't mind you saying so at all. Why would you mind you saying so? I can't even fucking hear you, although I can read your thoughts, and apparently everything you're like the opposite of a person who reads aloud. Everything you say out loud in the privacy of your own home, you also manage to think it simultaneously, and because I'm able to read your thoughts, I know what you're saying. See, I think you're talking, when you're sitting there thinking you're talking to yourself in your own home, just remember there's some psychic leakage from that, and I can hear you in my head, although admittedly I don't know what tone you're saying it in, because you don't have a tone in the thoughts in your head. Your tone is added by your tongue. It's added by a separate part of your brain that controls your tongue and says, will I say this happily or sadly or angrily, or will I bark it or meow it, or what will I do? Anyway, I know what you're thinking there, and I'm perfectly fine. Luckily on this occasion I'm perfectly fine with it. I do seem to be a bit croaky and a bit disgusting mouthedly. Maybe I should have a drink or something, that'll help. I'll have another drink of energy drink. That's what we do. Oh, incidentally, do you like energy drinks? Well, if you do, you should subscribe to the Into Your Head Extras and Reruns feed, on which there are currently the first 3 installments of Super Listener Jerry's little occasional series in which he reviews energy drinks which I shipped to him from Ireland, as well as some coffee that Rule from the Netherlands sent him. Jerry's Beverages over on the Into Your Head Extras and Reruns feed. Search for it in iTunes. It's absolutely fucking fantastic. Hopefully that'll help in some way. Apparently if you put water into your mouth, that's better than having natural water that your mouth creates in the form of spit. Apparently, putting water that someone else manufactures or does something to or treats, that's considered healthier. I have this little pot of Tesco Value or Dunnes Stores Value energy drink. I've poured that into my gullet. If I swish that around in my mouth, apparently that's considered more tolerable than me squishing saliva and snot and crap around. I don't know how it works, but phlegm, I suppose, is what you have in your mouth. Snot is what you have in your nose. Phlegm is what you have in your mouth. Piss is what you have in your down there. Tears is what you have in your eyes. Mucus you can have in both your ears and your nose, if it's my understanding. Sweat you can have in your pores. Do we not realise this is all just the same crap? You give it different names in different places. It's like some sort of snobbery of the human body. We say, oh, that's crap. That's the stuff that comes out of your arse. We say, oh no, that's just tears. Great tears of emotion from his eyes. That makes him an emotive and powerful person. He should be a poet or something. No, tears coming out of someone's eyes are just the same as piss coming out of their arse, or wherever it comes out of. Don't be, it's all the same. That's why I get Tesco own brand energy drinks here and glug it down just as I would the more expensive stuff. It's all the same. It all comes out. It comes out of Tesco's arse, or it comes out of the local overpriced convenience stores cans in the fridge. It's all the same to me. Don't be a snob, especially in a recession. There's no time in a recession to be getting snobbish about bodily functions, I can tell you. So get that in your pipe and smoke it. Anyway, time for a quick break. We'll be back. We'll be back in a moment. You're about to hear my wife telling you a very important message though, so listen carefully. Don't fast forward to my wife, or she'll devote the rest of her life to hunting you down and killing her. And after that, when the ad break is coming towards its end, you'll be rewarded with some music. Anyway, on with the show.
Follow Neal at twitter.com/intoyourheadpod and pretend to like him at facebook.com/intoyourheadpodcast.
Remember, we value the opinions of you, the humble and ignorant listener. Email studio@intoyourhead.com.
Support the podcastual arts at no cost to you. Just click through the Amazon link at intoyourhead.com whenever you go shopping for anything, even if you use Amazon UK or Canada. We'll take your weird foreign money here. We're not proud. Just visit intoyourhead.com and click on the appropriate Amazon banner.
Monkey nuts, that's what they call them. Monkey nuts, into your head. Monkey nuts, that's what they call them. Big steaming piles of monkey nuts into your head.
Once upon a time there was a dog. In fact, there's been many dogs throughout the ages, just like with the BBC comedy series Blackadder, where they cover a different generation of Blackadder in every series. Just like that, there's been many generations of dogs, although there's also been many dogs simultaneously within this universe at the same time. You don't have to search the parallel universes to find that. No, there's many dogs in existence. That's the thing about dogs. You can have a dog over here and a dog over there, and they can look exactly the same, but they're in the same universe. Dogs apparently have no concept of the laws of physics, and therefore they consider that ignorance is a defense against the law. Anyway, once upon a time there was a dog, let's say, called Rover the dog. His full name was Rover the dog, but people thought that the dog thing was superfluous, so they just called him Rover, except cats. Cats would refer to him as Rover the dog, and then other smart arse cats would reply to them. They'd say, we know he's a dog, you don't need to call him Rover the dog. They're hardly going to come across a cat called Rover, and if we ever do, we'll come up with a nickname for the cat called Rover, so let's just call him Rover. Anyway, Rover the dog went out one day for a walk. He went padding along the local footpath, as if he was a human being who paid taxes. He thought, I'll just use this footpath. It's free for me to use. I don't contribute anything to it. Sometimes I crap on it, but I can't help that. That's my human instinct as a dog, to crap everywhere. I'm descended from humans, and the humans crap everywhere, so I do the same. If I ever get round to inventing a toilet for myself or for my own species, I'll be able to stop cropping everywhere, but until then, I'm afraid you're stuck with it. You're stuck. Who am I talking to? He thought. Who am I talking to? I have to put enough thought with my tiny head into just walking and enjoying my walk. I shouldn't have to think about other things while I'm doing this. No. Can you see now why my species hasn't invented a toilet yet? I think you can. Christ, who am I talking to? Thought the dog. Anyway, Rover the dog proceeded to walk another half-kilometre or so, and then he reached a bridge over a stream. And instead of going straight over the bridge, he went down. He went down over the side of the road and down to the bridge and drank some water out of it. He thought, oh, this is some sort of stuff that I'm supposed to drink. I don't know what it's called, but my natural instinct, whatever that is, tells me that I should drink it, and that doing so is good. Drinking water is good, to put it another way. I've heard my human owners say that before. They've said to me, and they don't say it to me strangely, they say it to other people. They say, Rover needs to drink water, drinking water is good. They'll say it to one of their small people, and then one of their small people will start trying to pour water into my gullet forcibly, because they're too small to be in charge of a dog. That's why they have big people in charge of them. Anyway, the dog proceeds to drink water out of the stream, and then he stops drinking water and he says, Christ, I need to have a piss. That's where you let out water. What the fucking hell is the point of this? This is a waste of my valuable time. I drink in water, and next minute I'm supposed to offload water. Could I not just have a permanent, like a camel, could I not just have a permanent supply of water? You don't see them changing the water in their radiators every day. No, you don't. They use the same water permanently. Surely the Christ, it should be the same for me. I don't know. Maybe someday I'll go to university and I'll learn about all this, but for now I'll just assume that it's nature doing whatever it needs to do, and I shouldn't question it so much. So apologies, nature, for questioning you. Clearly you know what you're doing, although I'm not sure that you do, but it seems to work. But when I eventually become more educated, I'll try and find a better way around this than what you have at the moment. Well, until then it'll work. Anyway, the dog proceeds to have a piss, and urinates and urinates and urinates, and the urine goes into the stream. And then he says, Christ, that stream's full of urine, I'm not drinking out of that again. And then he proceeds back up to the road and goes back the way he came, except going in the opposite direction and moving his legs. He's moving his legs the exact same way. He's walking forward, but still he's walking in the opposite direction, because that's how the world works. The world, once you tell the world what way you want to go by facing that direction, then the world pretty much does the rest for you. The world pretty much turns itself around for you, and you can just walk and walk and walk like a conveyor belt that's being turned around. You just walk and walk and walk, and you end up back where you came from. Anyway, is there a point to this? I don't know. I think the point to this is that cat stories are much more interesting than dog stories. That's what I think. If you ask me, not Rover, the narrator of this tale. Oh, tale! There's a little pun for you. Narrator of this tale. Maybe I should do a story about the dog's tail. Got chopped off many years ago by a less responsible owner who thought, I better chop this dog's tail off. It's going to get in his way. He's going to trip over it and break his neck or something. Maybe I should chop his neck off too. I would if I could. Apparently, they need that. I don't know why they have a tail. Why do you animals grow tails if you don't need them? That's what he used to ask. And they never reply. They just cower in the corner somewhere and hope that someone nice adopts them before it's too late. Because they say, it's too late, baby, it's too late, but we really want to try and make it. It's too late, something, and it's too late, but we really should have something. Anyway.
I'm Shainne Greoige, and this is Athy Weekly World News. It's just been announced that a brand new episode of Shainne Greoige's Athy Weekly World News is to go ahead immediately. Athy Weekly World News has learned that the occasional bulletin presented by vintage newscaster Shainne Greoige will indeed proceed as scheduled at this precise minute. However, when contacted a moment ago for comment, Athy Weekly World News declined to put forward a spokesperson. There's been a mixed reaction to the announcement that Athy's town twinning programme has been indefinitely postponed until such a time as contact can be made with a suitable Athy town in a parallel universe. Local councillor Bowsy O'Farrelly slammed the move, saying, "By the time this thing gets off the ground, all of the other Athys will have paired off, and we'll be like the last town left in a game of musical chairs." Mr. O'Farrelly went on to say that the town's only hope was if there are an even number of Athys in the universe, the chances of which would appear to be 50-50. Meanwhile, it's been revealed that Athy Children's Playground is to get the country's first ever geostationary roundabout. According to local architects, children will be able to sit on the non-moving roundabout while watching on-screen real-time information about the movement of the Earth, giving them the thrill of spinning through space, without any of the insurance ramifications. The provision of the necessary astronomical data is to be put out to tender shortly. Critics have slammed the proposals, pointing out that geostationary implies the facility will orbit the planet on a daily basis, at the same speed at which the world revolves on its axis. The town manager, in a written clarification, has responded that you don't have to be up in space to rotate with the Earth. In fact, that we're all spinning right now, this minute, just as we would be if we were hitching a ride on the back of an over-caffeinated cat who's been tied to a post and can't stop running around in circles. So, we might as well get some value out of it for our children, and our children's children, and their parents for that matter. We're receiving unconfirmed reports that several arrests have been made at a violent protest outside Athy Adult Learning Centre. It's understood that students are calling for the reversal of last week's budget cuts, the main casualty of which were the school's annual anger management programme. And finally, the forecast. The hump of the week is expected to pass around Wednesday lunchtime, after which it will all be downhill sailing, except in some coastal areas. I'm Shainne Greoige. Join me tonight for Shainne Greoige's Night Off, when I'll be relaxing at home with a keg of homebrew and my cats, watching America's Next Top Model aeroplane. But for now, a very good evening to you.
Once upon a time, there was a cat by the name of Rover, although for some reason his friends didn't like to use his real name, so they called him Rolly. They said, "Here, Rolly, 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 Rolly." And Rover used to point out that going, "Here, Rolly, 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 Rolly," seemed to defeat the purpose of creating a nickname that abbreviates his real name. There's a lot more syllables in here, Rolly, 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 than there is in here, Rover. Although I suppose you could take it to the extreme, you could go here, Rover, 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 but that's harder to say. It takes a bit of practice. Anyway, Rover was bemused by all this, although he didn't worry about it too much. I just thought it's a little bit silly. These names, they're only for the use of humans anyway. You don't really need them. Who cares? Anyway, Rover the cat decided one day not to go out for a walk. He said, "I'm not going to go out for a walk. What am I going to do? Look into a stream and drink out of it and then piss into it or something? The dogs have pissed into that stream. I'm not going to go drinking dog piss when there's a perfectly adequate bowl here. No, I'm going to go up and sit on the bed and purr and go asleep." And so he did. Rover did that. End of story. That's all there is to Rover's day. Nothing to add. I suppose that's a lot less interesting than the preceding dog story. But who's going to judge? I'm a bit biased here because I'm an owner of 8 cats, although Pippi's still missing. But I'm an owner of 8 cats. I don't have a dog. If you're a dog owner, you probably thought the story about the dog earlier was a lot more interesting. Well, I think they each had their own individual charms. So who's going to judge? Who can say? Who can say? That's the question. Who can say? These animals can't speak for themselves, and I can't speak for myself because, as we established, I'm biased, and you can't speak for yourself because I can't hear you. Although, yes, well, we established earlier that some of you can psychically leak your thoughts to me when you're saying them out loud, but that's all fictional. I made that up. I think we know that. So no, leaves us with nothing, and this is why you can't have a proper debate on a pre-recorded podcast. It just doesn't work. It's impractical, I suppose, is what I'm saying. It's about as practical as running the whole thing up a flagpole and seeing if it sticks in the wind. That's what they say. They say, let's run that idea up the flagpole and see if it sticks. Whether it sticks or not depends on the quality of the flagpole and whether there's glue attached to it or whatever. An idea does not have inherent flagpole sticking ability. No. That's not what they say. Let's run her up there, something like that anyway. Hold on a minute. Let's find out what the exact phrase is using the internet. Run it up the flagpole and see. Search. Run her up the flagpole and see who salutes. Oh, that's one thing. I thought there was something else as well. It's an idiom, apparently. Run her up the flagpole. I thought it went, no, it's just run it up our flagpole. Run something up the flagpole to tell people about an idea in order to see what they think about it. Run your suggestion up the flagpole and see what the others say. Well, I don't know. In my day, if you put anything other than a flag up a flagpole, you were committing an offence. You get arrested there. They'd say, that's disrespectful. The flag of this country is to be respected. Whether you respect it or not, you have to pretend to respect it. And if you're running ideas or anything else up the flagpole, what are you doing? Putting them on a chalkboard and hanging them off the mast? I don't know. I suppose it's a metaphor. But what's a metaphor for? It's not much for a metaphor if you don't know what if it's not obvious what the metaphor is for, then it's not a metaphor at all. It's about as useful as a metaphor as a cat pissing on the top of a wall and looking over the wall and seeing a dog licking water from the nearby stream. From that wall that I'm looking at out there, it's about, you can't see the stream from there. The stream I was thinking of is further out the Kilkenny Road, and that wall is in here between this estate and the next. There's at least a block of houses between that and the stream. You can't see cats or dogs, no matter how good either of them are. I don't think either side in this debate is going to claim that they can see through buildings. No. So suffice to say, good morning.
Sit, Annie, sit. Good cat.
IntoYourHeadPodcast.com.